G'day, Daza here from Smoking Hot Rocks Competition Barbecue Team. Today I'm going to show you how to cook the ultimate pizza in the Bushbeck oven. First off, we're going to make the pizza dough. Starting with the ingredients, so we've got flour, salt, we've got some fresh yeast. You can use your normal dried yeast from the supermarkets and bits and pieces. Probably going to add about 5 grams to that. Here there's 20 grams, so you need a bit more of this. The fresh yeast, you can sort of pick it up if you get friendly with a baker. They'll cut you half a block for a couple of bucks. It's cheap. It does last about a month, and then that's all it lasts for, but it creates a really beautiful flavour and far better than your dry yeast. And we just have salt, 5 grams of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I think it's about 150 grams of water. So basically I add the salt in, mix that in, and then for your yeast, with this dry yeast, you sort of got to rub it all through. And I add my olive oil, put it in, let it mix through, so. And then we'll start to slowly add the water. Far better than, you know, the store-bought pizza bases. Put a little bit of effort in, makes a cracking pizza. You've got to do it by eye a bit sometimes. You know, sometimes you go, oh, you'll need more water or less. The more hydrated your dough is, the more airier it'll be, so it'll be lighter and fluffier the more hydration you put into your dough. It's harder to work with, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people do with dough, is they start to work it on a bench like this, and they find it all sticky, and they start adding flour. And that's the worst thing you can do, because all of a sudden you've just totally changed the recipe of what it was. You had X amount of flour, now you're adding more flour, and that's not the way to do it. So you sort of got to work with it the way it is, and just knead it. You can just sort of pick them up and bang like that and fold them over. You start to slap a bit of air into it. And this is just doing all the gluten, getting all the gluten working in it, creates strength of the dough. As you can see, I've added no extra flour to the bench. We'll leave that till it's doubled in size. Just clean that up, put it in there with a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't stick. Cover it with a bit of lad wrap. So while the dough's been rising, I've had this fire going, so I've got some charcoal, some nice manuka. Add a little bit of flavour, a little bit of smoke, and now we'll slide in the pizza insert, and we'll make our pizza base and make our pizza, and we'll cook our pizza. So dough's all done, all risen, doubled in size. As you can see, it's all nice and airy. So now we're going to cut this into similar size balls, depending on what size you sort of want your pizza. Not going to go anything too big today. You just form each ball like this, sort of pulling its ears over, and then you come down into the corner and just roll like so. If you rest those a little bit, they won't be as tight. To roll that out now will be a little bit hard to roll out, so if you just let that sort of, those balls can sit for 10 minutes, and then just roll them out. So we're going to now roll them out. Just work them around like that. As I said, if it does get tight, just let it rest. Just throw it to one side, grab the next one. And with that resting, the gluten will loosen up in it, and it'll slowly roll out more and more. Rightio, everything's up to temperature. Now rolled out our little mini pizza. We're just going to a little bit of pizza sauce. Make your own or store bought, doesn't really matter. Smear her out towards the edges. So I've got a mix of mozzarella and tasty. Yeah, so we just check the temperature now. So the stone's really nice and hot. So we'll slide her in. So here she goes. Okay. I like to use a wooden peel for sliding them in. They just slide better than on the steel ones, and use the steel ones to remove them. So we just give her a, there she is. Nice. Very good. Shut the door. Check her in a couple of minutes. So we're about a minute in, and she's looking really good. Smelling beautiful. Righto, she's all done, mate. We'll get this little beauty out. Whew. Nice. The old Bushbeck pizza came out really nice.